Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here to tell you a little bit about my life during the coronavirus pandemic quarantine and a little bit about myself. Okay, so looking back on it, the trials that I went through during the COVID-19 era weren't especially difficult. They weren't especially trying for me in particular. And in hindsight, I appreciate that more because it gives me a sense of it wasn't just me. It in, it increases my sense of community in that sense, knowing that nearly everyone around me, everyone my age especially, went through pretty much the exact same thing. That gives me something to identify with, and it keeps me humble as well, knowing that my problems now or then aren't greater than myself. They are not insurmountable in that sense. Okay, with that being said, I think I'm good to talk about what actually happened. So you could say that there were two major forces pushing on my life at this time. There was the fact that I had to go to school online and the fact that I was switching schools. I was going from being a lifelong student at a private Islamic school to joining a public school. So it's not just that it's new people, it's that it's a new group of people, a new type of people, new cliques to learn and a new crowd to connect with. So when you combine that with the fact that you have to interact with these people online through a screen, when there's inherently a sense of disconnection and detachment with anyone, even your own sibling, your own spouse, there's going to be a sense of disconnection when you talk to them over a computer or over a phone rather than face to face. You can see them, you can hear them, but they aren't necessarily there. There's always a separation between you two. So that was the struggle, I guess, combining new people and a lack of connection in general. That was, I think, the greatest challenge that befell me during the COVID-19 era. Now, things have gotten much better. I became much happier in general when I began to go to the school physically. I began to view this new crowd in person. I began to connect with them much more efficiently. And I became friends with many of them, and I hope that many of them will become friends, that I'll know some of them for my entire life. And I'll always owe, my new school and the people I've made, the connections I've made, I'll always owe that to them. When I was much younger, I would say that my only dream and goal in life is to be able to help, just in general, in a very vague sense. I had this idea that I wanted to be able to help someone who needed helping in some way. Now that I'm older, my goal in life has become a bit more specialized, but the sentiment is still there. So my dream out of college is to go to law school and to become a lawyer and to use my status as a lawyer to be able to do good to those who need to be dealt more good in life. I want to be able to relieve some of the stigma around lawyers, that they're all sleazy and that they're all cunning and sly and manipulative. So I want to be able to use my status as a benefit to the community rather than a liability to my career.